I am pleased to introduce our first presenters today from Grant County. Jonathan Smith is the Managing Director for the Grant County EDC, and he joined the EDC in 2005, and Jonathan has assisted 7 companies in relocating to Grant County. He's earned his master's degree from Gonzaga University and received the designation of Certified Economic Developer from the International Economic Development Council. And we all know, those economic developers in the room know what a big deal that is. Jonathan also serves as the president of the Adams and Grant County Human Resource Association. So I'd like to welcome Jonathan to the stage. And I'd also like to invite Julie Bedick. Is that right? Julie Bedick. Biddick, I'm sorry. Julie Biddick to the stage as well. She's the HR generalist for the Basic American Foods, which is a potato and bean dehydration plant that supplies food around the world. Some of Basic American Foods' biggest customers include KFC, Taco Bell, Food Services of America, Costco, and Walmart. And Julie has a BS in HR management and a PHR certification as well. So welcome, and the program is yours. I'll get the plate.
Supposedly we're getting a clicker. Can everyone hear me? No? Good. All right, so we're going to talk about a pre-employment training program that we have in Moses Lake through the community college, and just start out with some brief background on how the program got started. Do I need to stay here at this stage, or can I move around? All right. So the EDC did a survey of companies back in 2006, 2007 timeframe, and we found out that about 80% of the companies that we met with, manufacturing companies, were having a hard time finding skilled employees that had the qualifications that they needed. And what it really turned out to be was a mismatch between what companies expected employees to have skill-wise and what employees thought they needed to have skill-wise. And this graph comes from the U.S. Census Bureau. It's education attainment of the population age 25 and over in Grant County. As you can see, about 56% of the people in Grant County age 25 and over have just a high school degree or less, or equivalent. And that's compared to about 44% is the national average, somewhere around there. So we're quite a bit higher than that. However, people, with 9th grade education, 9th through 12th education, think that they can walk in off the street to a manufacturer, Basic American Foods, a food processor, or even more technical manufacturing, and just get an entry-level position. And 15, 20 years ago that may have been the case, but nowadays high school plus is required. We had some instances in our county where new machinery got shipped to some manufacturing companies and it sat unopened for months and months as they waited to hire personnel locally that was trained enough to run it, instead of having to have someone come from a facility elsewhere. And so it was a real struggle. And so this graph kind of illustrates that. There's a huge, a lot of people who think they have the skills that they need. You can just walk in, anybody who can fog a mirror can get a job there, but that's not the case. High school plus is required, not necessarily an associate's degree, but maybe some kind of a certificate in welding, certificate in machinery maintenance, and that kind of stuff. So out of this survey, we pulled together a task force of everybody who we thought would have a vested interest in helping to alleviate this problem. How do we get the workforce better matched to what industry needs? How do we address that? So you can see on the far side there a bunch of private businesses that definitely had a vested interest. All of these companies were among the ones that we spoke with and indicated they were having troubles. Some education partners, Big Bend Community College, SkillSource, and there might be some others that were on there. Even the city of Moses Lake, we had representatives from the sheriffs. It wasn't just isolated to industry, this problem. However, being the Economic Development Council, we focus mainly on manufacturing. That's kind of the approach that we took. So we all came together. You can see the little circle thing in the middle. That's all fine and dandy. But we wanted to really bring the partnership together so that we could provide a solution that would meet industry's needs, but bring all of the pieces that everybody had together so we weren't duplicating efforts and really be a coordinated program. And so this group split up its efforts into 3 areas. One focused on retention. We already have people who are working at our plants. How do we keep turnover from happening? Sometimes people would get a job at one food processor, be there for 3 months, and leave for the next one for a 15-cent an hour raise or something like that. And so we talked about how can we do retention, one group. Another group focused on training. How do we get people who don't have the skills we need trained to have the skills we need? Another group focused on attracting new people to the area. And so those 3 groups were going along, and for those of you who know my boss, Terry Brewer, he was at one of these meetings one day, and he said, you know, I remember a conference I was at about 7 years ago, and there was a guy there who talked about a program that I think might fit what you're looking for, so let me get my notes. And sure enough, he pulled out these journals that he keeps on his book stand and pulled out the one for the appropriate year, found this guy's name information, called him up, and the very top corner there, that's CTech, that's a community college in Ohio, and called this guy up, and he came out and gave a presentation to us about a pre-employment training program that fit all 3 of those things. It helps with retention, it helps attract new workers, and it helps train workers. And so there's a video here, just a quick overview of it. I hope it plays. But there's no volume. Well, anyways, the video here just basically highlights what the program is, what it's about. Quick overview. People come into this program for $250. They get to tour manufacturing facilities around the community. There's 11 or so right now that are involved in the program. They get tours of these businesses. Classes are taught by people who work at these businesses, so they're taught by the safety instructor or the training manager. In some cases, even the plant manager or CEO of the plant is teaching the classes, meeting with the students. The students have an opportunity to interact, to meet people on the work floor, those kind of things. And it's really a win-win. It's set up so that industry provides the guidance for the program, and then Big Bend Community College, WorkSource, the other educators provide support and assistance to help this program to succeed. And to talk more about that, Julie's going to take over.
Okay, well, first off, thanks for inviting me. This is a new experience for me. My company that I'm with, Basic American Foods, we're now a partner of the PET program. We've been with the PET, I think it's been around 8 months now. We've taught a total of 4 classes, and so we're fairly new to it, but the reason we became a member of the PET program is because we needed to find some better quality employees that come in. We needed to get that level of comfort knowing that we're going to get employees in that are really going to perform for us and really know what they're getting into and going to enjoy the field. So what I'll do is I'll speak a little bit about how to develop a program that's really this successful and this robust. One of the first steps is determining who the coordinator is going to be for that program. I could tell you that our coordinator that we have, she's really kind of the anchor to this team. She's the one that's making sure that all the industries, all the companies that are part of the PET program are coming together on a monthly basis, are discussing what needs to happen to improve what is already existing. She's making sure that she's holding us accountable. She's helping organize the program. So we found a coordinator that is also a part of the fiscal agent, part of the education system, and that really had a good understanding about what the businesses in the area needed and what the demographics of that area is. And then from there, they identified the companies. Who are these companies that are going to come together? And what's the training, what's the curriculum going to look like? So these industries that decided to join the PET all got together and said, okay, well, this is what's important to us as a collective whole. Certain things like safety and quality, lean production. And so we developed up a curriculum, And then we divided among, who's going to take what classes, whether it's training on PPE or maybe it's training basic. I teach the Lean Basic 101, so I teach the students kind of high-level view of what lean manufacturing is all about.